Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am, Ingram Jones, and thank you for tuning to Baylor TV Boxing Channel. We're back, and there's a big fight tonight. Unification, Crawford versus Postol. But before I begin, just check the right-hand corner. I think that's on this side here. Nope, it's that side. Down in the bottom on that side there, you will see a subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button. For those 140 new subscribers, thank you so much. We appreciate it for the show. So we're live, we're here. Let's just check and see who we've got in the room before we get started. Marky B.A., good evening, son. Al, Red Sox fan. Hope all is well, son. Love and light to you too, brother. Okay. There's a lot of things I want to talk about tonight, not just Crawford Postol. For a bizarre reason, and I can't work out why, I'm not excited about this fight. You've got a unification fight, two of the best fighters in the world fighting, but I'm not excited. Please don't ask me why I'm not excited, but I'm just not. Let me adjust this light here because there's too much light cracking on the moment. Hold on a second. Give me a second here. There we go. That's better. Right. For some reason, I'm not as excited as I should be. And I'm going to go into more why I'm not excited as much at the moment. Before I start, check out the description box at the bottom. You'll see two, not one, but two exclusive interviews with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford before he became world champion. Terence Crawford, so you get to know the in-depth character of Terence Crawford. You get to know what this man is all about. Often the top writers and top journalists in boxing won't talk to you or get to know anything about you unless you've made it big. Baylor TV is a bit different. I like to talk to fighters and people who haven't quite made it but are on the journey. So you'll get to hear Terence Crawford tell you a little bit more about yourself, where he's come from, a bit more his boxing background, a bit more of his mentality. And I think it's really important that you get to know more of what a fight is about. Of course, you'll always get to see him in the ring fight and see the skills off there, but it's also good to get to know the background of a fighter, especially when you're going into a big fight like this against Postol. I'm going to give my thoughts on this Postol fight in a second, just waiting for the room to get a little bigger. Al Red Sox. Let me check and see before I go down the page a bit more. Yes, Al Red Sox fan says, please subscribe. Well, Mr. Al, I appreciate you for your support and over Twitter and across YouTube. Really appreciate the support. Marky B, yeah, I've got Crawford on points. Al Red Sox says, thank you. Glenn C, the man that inspired me to get on the show tonight and do a show. Start at 8:30. I have done, my friend. All right, Ingram. All right, Glenn C, hope you're well. Don't forget my boy Oscar Valdez on the undercard. We'll be checking that out tonight as well. Postol seems a smaller Klitschko. He clinches a lot. There's my point in that. I'm going to come back to that point as well. Glad you said that. What's good, bro? Good boy. Good to see you in the room. Postol reminds me of Andy Lee when he fights. Interesting. Marky Beer says same style. Crawford is a much more fun fighter to watch. Good boy says very same style. Crawford better not take the punches he had before this guy with this guy. Good points. I want to make 3 points here, and I'm going to make it where we've got some people in the room. I think it's important that I do make these points. Point number one. So this is something that Bob Arum said. I think when fights have been sold or fights are easy to sell, when you've got two guys who will trash talk and throw cheers at one another or push one another and talk smack, those fights sell easy, okay? Boxing today, it seems to be sold on the basis of even if you can't fight, but you can talk a lot and throw cheers and kick off and tantrum, even if you're going to lose fights, just the fact that you are a bit of a unpredictable character, yeah, that people are more interested in that than the fact of the quality fighters. Take Adrian Broner, for example. The fact that he was locked up for whatever reason that seems to be taking more precedent and more importance than the fact that two undefeated top world champions are meeting one another. Absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to go further into this. Now, there's something that Bob Arum said, very divisive, especially in the political heat or climate we've got at the moment. And I'm only going to talk about race in this moment for this particular situation. And people say, oh, Ben Laurie, don't go there. But I am going to talk about race only in the purpose of a positive spin, or just exposing a lot of nonsense. I listened to Bob Arum talk a whole load of rubbish. He started talking about, well, you know, it's Terence Crawford against Postol. Okay, I'm listening. He goes, you know, a lot of people expecting Terence to win because he's an American fighter and he's on American soil. Okay, and a lot of people expect the Eastern European guy to get beat because he's Eastern European and he's not been seen much before. Okay, fine. You're doing all right there, Bob. You're doing well there, and I'm listening, and it's cool. And all right, you know, Terence Crawford's an African American. Okay, right, and Postol's Eastern European. Okay, all right, and you know the African American style. Yeah, what's that? Sugar Ray Leonard. Muhammad Ali, loose sort of fluid sort of style, versus more of the Eastern European style, being more upright and throwing straight punches and sort of more robotic and more disciplined, he started saying. Then he started going on a little further about, well, you know, it'd be interesting to see how a African-American fighter goes against an Eastern European fighter. Why do you have to start talking that nonsense? You know, how a black fighter is going to do well against a white fighter? Listen, you know, the first thing that ticked me off about what he said then, Bob Arum, was that the Eastern European style is more disciplined than the African American style. What garbage is that? What garbage is that? But you see, the people pick up on that and already are divisive, and people who have got a narrow mind, that sort of thing fits through them like a small straw in their brains, and they then start getting on things like YouTube and start talking about black fighters and this and that. Listen, I'm admitting it myself, and I'm telling you now, it's not about the color of your skin. The color of your skin doesn't make you win a fight. Understand this. It's your boxing ability, your heart, your guts, your determination, your discipline, your willpower, whether you can take instruction. Those are the things that make you win a fight. And I'll go further on to say this. The Eastern European fighters, there is a march with the Eastern European fighters. You know, we talk about Vladimir Klitschko, right? Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, Gennady Golovkin, Lomachenko, Usyk. You know, we're going about fighters there. There we go there. And there's a lot more I've probably not mentioned there. Who's the guy? Berbatek, up at light heavyweight. You've got Kovalev. How can I forget Kovalev? The Eastern European fighters, and there's something that James Ali Bashir said, which is very interesting. He mentioned about the dedication of the Eastern European fighters, that they want it more. And a lot of the American fighters, not as many, they've gone into basketball and all the other things they've got to get themselves involved with. It's something Bashir mentioned. But that doesn't mean that Terence Crawford's not a good fighter. That doesn't mean Terence Crawford is less dedicated because he's African American and the person Eastern European is more dedicated. That's a load of rubbish, absolute rubbish, and I won't have it, won't accept it. So I just wanted to mention that and talk about that and say that point, because there's another thing as well. All Mexican fighters are flat-footed, good chins. All Mexican fighters are flat-footed. There is something about Postol that I looked him at once and said, who does this guy remind me of? And I thought, yeah, Vladimir Klitschko. He does remind me of that Vladimir Klitschko style. Very awkward, long arms, gangly, and looks almost uncoordinated, but yet gets his punches out. I saw that, but you know who else he reminded me of? He reminded me of Eric Morales. You know Eric Morales? Remember Eric Morales, the Mexican fighter? Long arms, long range, get you at the end of his range, big power puncher, took a great shot, grind you down with work rate, good hand speed. Eric Morales, that's the guy that Postol kind of reminds me of. He reminds me of Eric Morales. That Eric Morales seems to come to my mind a lot. With Terence Crawford now, you look at both guys here. They're both guys who are prepared to play chess. They're both guys who are prepared to wait for openings. This fight could go many ways. Postol, for me, looks the fight I saw him against Matisse. He obviously showed he could take a great punch because Matisse we know can punch, so we don't question that. And he's got heart; he'll stick in there. Postol also showed me that he was vulnerable. If I was right, the right hand over the top, he seemed to be vulnerable to the punch over the top, which kept getting caught with over and over. Good evening, Carlos Gonzalez. Good to see you in the room. Getting caught over and over again with the right hand. I think it was the right hand, if I'm correct. Could have been the left hook. But it's one of those punches he was getting caught all the time, either over the jab or over his own right hand. He was getting caught, and he didn't seem to make adjustments to that. And Matisse was having success with that. Matisse, let's get it straight. I don't think Lucas Matisse is a great boxer. I think he's a big puncher, but that doesn't make him a good boxer. It just makes him a good puncher. And that, you'll now talk about Terence Crawford, who can punch and he can box. The thing about Terence Crawford, you could say he doesn't punch as hard as Lucas Matisse, but he'll hit you more accurately or more regular or more often. So those are things there. Now, talk about, people say, well, Terence Crawford's not fought somebody as tall as Postol. Well, where were you when he fought Prescott? Prescott tall, long, rangy. So take what you want from that. He has fought rangy guys before. There are concerns for me about Terence Crawford. Is the moustache new? No, it's not. Don Flamengo, nice to see you in the room. J124, good to see you in the room as well. There are some issues here for Terence Crawford. There are two ways I can see this fight. Well, a few ways I can see this fight going. With the sort of fluidity that Terence Crawford has, or as Bob Aaron says, the African-American style, garbage, because I see a lot of fighters that are non-African-American that box with a very fluid style. Joe Calzaghe is not African-American, and he boxes with good hand speed, fluid hand speed, in and out movement. Alexander Usyk is not an African-American fighter, but he boxes, comes in and out, very fluid. So I don't know what, again, Bob Aaron's talking about. But anyway, for me, when I talk about Crawford, things about Crawford, he's another one of these spiteful fighters that if you go back and look at the Bundy, not Bundy, what's his name? Oh God, Hank Lundy fight, where Hank Lundy was shooting his mouth off and doing all stuff, and at the end where Crawford was beating Hank Lundy to a pulp and had him in the corner. When the referee had his hands embracing around him, Crawford then went up to Lundy and whispered something in his ear. When he was at him against the ropes, hurt. So that is something that he's a very nasty fighter, and he's the kind of guy who'll hit him with a shot and he'll smile at you. Now, my advice to Terence Crawford tonight against someone like Postol, from round 1 to round 12, this guy is dangerous. Somehow, Crawford's going to have to, I think he's going to have to pick his punches smartly against Postol and not get into a dogfight. I think a dogfight suits Postol. And if Crawford's on the end of those shots, I think he's in trouble. There is a question mark, and I've said it, and I've always said it about anybody who's watched me with Terence Crawford. You check out the interviews I've done with Terence Crawford, and they're quite in-depth interviews. I think one's 28 minutes long, the other one's 60 minutes long. The one question mark I've got about Terence Crawford, I'm not concerned about his punch power, because I think he's got the power to hurt Postol. My concern about Terence Crawford is his ability to take a punch. That's the missing factor about Terence Crawford. Can he take a real big punch from a real big, strong, light welterweight? Okay, he took it from Prescott and he's done it against other guys, but this is different. When you look at the Gamboa fight and he hurt Gamboa hurt him. There was a little wobble in the legs. I'm thinking, okay, okay. You know, you're doing it against a guy who was a blown up, what, a super featherweight or featherweight. Gamboa had, as far as I'm concerned, had no business being in the ring with Terence Crawford that night. And I said that to people, but people laughed at me. I said, Crawford will, once Crawford gets his range, he'll blow Gamboa out of there. People laughed at me. Said, "Oh, he'll get knocked up by Gamboa." I said when he was fighting Ricky Burns, listen to me. This guy's going to take Ricky Burns to the cleaners. People laughed at me. He took Ricky Burns to cleaners. This fight against Postol, for me, it's very interesting to see how he does against a guy who's not only, get this straight here, he's not tall and long. The guy can box, and he can box, and he's very methodical. Mike Tyson, hello. D Rex Martin, good to see you in the room. But he's methodical. Cam Postol, and the things I was impressed with Postol was the second half of the fight. He had some good hand speed on him as well. Very, very good hand speed. My concerns are, can Postol move out of the gears, and can he move above just jab, jab, jab? Can he move above just putting a little combination together? Can he move through the gears? And when Crawford starts moving through the gears, can he match him? That's the question. Eric Blair, good seeing you. Postol is a volume puncher and technically sound. I agree with you there. So he's not just tall. He's not just long. He's technically sound. Snoopy Williams, good to see you in the room. So those are things there. Like I said, Crawford likes to get involved. He's the one who likes to get involved more of a brawl, and he likes to get in and have a bit of a fight. Again, I don't think that is the way. I think what Crawford has got to do, he's got to pick this guy apart. He's got to pick this guy apart carefully. Pick him apart. Hurt him, stun him, and get away. Hurt him, stun him, get away. Don't, get in and get out. Use your lateral movement. I'm using Bob Arum's nonsense, the African-American style. Use your fluidity to get in and out from side to side. Use that, and use that to your advantage in a fight like this. Don't get involved in a fight with Postol and frustrate him, okay? Those are my concerns there. Postol, see, I could see Postol getting picked apart here. I could see him getting picked apart and then getting stopped late. I can see that. But I can also see Postol getting on top of Crawford, being physically stronger and bullying Crawford in there. So there's various ways to see this fight, and that's why you say this is a toss 'em up fight, But like I said before, Matisse can punch, and that Postol was able to stop him and hurt him badly. So those are my thoughts there. So you're looking at, classic boxing style versus a guy who's a bit more slicker. So I don't know if it's style over substance. But the other thing I didn't like about Bob Arum talking to Crawford is that he turned around and started talking things like, oh, don't worry, you're getting paid in this fight. You're getting paid for this fight. I don't like where Bob Arum's coming off here. I really don't. It's interesting to see. Another factor is how Postol, Crawford's moving up. He's not a big guy for the weight, but he's moving up. Whereas Postol, you got to wonder what weight he's coming in from. Is he like a light middleweight coming down to fight a light welterweight? That's the question. That's the next question. So, okay, Snoop Williams says, Postol was shaking at the weigh-in, might be drained. He might be, but he's got 24 hours to rehydrate. And when you rehydrate, we all know what can happen. So coming into the ring, Postol could be weighing, who knows, over the welterweight limit. He could be, a light middle on the night. Those are other things as well. How does Terence Crawford deal with that? So I don't know where to go with this one. I really don't. Okay, sorry, mate. You're doing too much spamming for my liking. Bye. Tom O'Brien, 2004, says Postol's got the biggest Adam's apple error. Eric Blair says, who's got the better resume? Postol beat Lucas Matisse, who is a strong light welterweight who could punch. Could Terence Crawford beat Lucas Matisse? I don't know. I don't know. Crawford's best opponent was Ricky Burns or Ray Beltran, depending how you look at that. Ray Beltran broke Ricky Burns' jaw and he beat Ricky Burns as far as I was concerned. And you saw what Crawford did to Ray Beltran. But operating at a higher level, I would say that Postol's got the better resume based on the fact he beat Lucas Matisse. So, is Burns better than Lucas Matisse? No. Lucas Matisse has been in there with Danny Garcia. He's been in there with Peterson. He's been in there with, what's his name? Oh, he's been in with so many good fighters. So, okay, let's see what people are saying in the room. J124 says it hasn't caught most of the public's attention. It seems to have gone under the radar. I agree. And D-Rex Martin says Lundy brought his family into. He did. Mike Tyson says Postol was very impressive against Matisse. Crawford says Graham M says Crawford stops him in 9 rounds. Okay, that's good. Our Red Sox fan says I don't like the weigh-in rules. They wish they would go back to same day weigh-ins. I agree with you as well. Gamboa was his best win. I agree with you there, definitely. Don Flamenco says he needs to go Postol on Crawford. Hardy, ha ha. I don't know what you mean by that. You'll have to break it down and bring it back to me. I really don't know. I really don't know about this fight. Style-wise and fluidity, you've got to give it to Terence Crawford. But he's done things at a lower weight division. And his best win for me, I would say, is against Gamboa. Postol's best fight was against Matisse. But Matisse is a big puncher, but not a great boxer. Gamboa, blown up, super featherweight, but a good boxer. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know where to push it. I really don't know where to push this fight. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Real tough one. Okay, but I'm gonna go with Postol. I'm gonna go with Postol in this one. I'm gonna go with Postol this one because I think that Crawford's gonna take chances, which I think will leave Postol to land his shots. I think Postol will tuck in and be a lot tighter than Crawford. And I think Postol's physical strength is going to be key in this fight. And if Postol can hurt Crawford early, then I think it's trouble for Crawford. I'm going to go. Bookmakers are really wrong. What the bookmakers booking for going for this fight? Glenn, please let me know. What are the bookmakers saying? YouTube says 140 is weak division. Cruiserweight's the best division now. Cruiserweight, really? I would argue the light middleweight division looks pretty interesting. Light middleweight division looks very good. Bookies have Crawford favourite. But if their bookies got Crawford favourite because Crawford's just an American fighter and they haven't seen much of Postol, is that it? I remember where the bookies had Nathan Cleverly favourite. a lot of favorite. What's that game? A lot of people had Kovalev cleverly favorite against Kovalev, and I said you're both going the wrong way here. Cleverly's going to get wiped out by Kovalev. People laughed at me. I'm going with Postol. I really am. Reasons for going for Postol, and I love Terence Crawford. I know he fought against Prescott, but I saw Kevin Mitchell outbox Prescott, so you know I'm going to go. In fact, I'm going with Postol because I suspect he's much bigger than light welterweight. I believe he's going to come in a lot heavier than that. First and foremost, I think he'll be comfortable with that. Secondly, the way he got rid of Matisse and the way he was able to absorb Matisse's best punch. I think Postol will keep going and going and going. I think at some point, if Crawford can't hurt Postol and Postol can hurt Crawford, we want to see how he does in that. I've seen Postol get hit by a big puncher and take it. I'm yet to see Crawford take it from a big puncher and be convinced his chin is good enough. And I think Postol will nail and will land on him. It's just how Crawford responds. I go back to something that I think Matisse was shot, and that's Postol's best win. Now, coming into that fight, Lucas Matisse was the favorite coming into that fight. I got to remind you, it's okay saying Postol was shot, Matisse was shot after the fact, but before the fact, a lot of people thought Matisse was going to knock out Lucas Matisse was going to knock out Postol. So, you know, those are my thoughts there on that. Don Flamenco says going Postol means to go nuts. I guess a lot of Postol workers went crazy. So go Postol. Tom O'Brien 2004 says 5-1 out of 72. Don Flamenco says it's an American thing. YouTube said, did Frank Warren think he was bringing over a Russian cab driver and then Kovalev turned up? 1-7 Crawford, which is ridiculous odds. Graham M, Postol on points. Snoop Williams, I think Matisse was shot, and that's Postol's best win. There was something that Floyd Mayweather mentioned when he was talking about Manny Pacquiao. And that's another thing. Postol spent a lot of time sparring Manny Pacquiao. The one thing about Postol, which is a concern for me, is his trainer, Freddie Roach. And I'll tell you why. Freddie Roach is fantastic if he's getting you to attack. But in terms of defense, Freddie Roach has got no clue whatsoever. YouTube says Crawford 7 rounds to 5. That's fair play. That's fair play. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know. If I knew, Aaron Marie talking Manny versus Bud makes me think he favors Crawford. Listen, he's been talking that. I remember when Bob Arum was talking about Bradley versus Pacquiao, and Bradley came to the press conference and had Pacquiao Bradley 2 came to press conference the rematch, and that's why I knew that Bradley was going to win the fight on points. Graham M says Roach has put $1,000 on Postol to get the KO. Is that coming out of Postol's? Is that coming out of Postol's paycheck? I'm gonna go. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's a. I would call this a tough fight. This is a real tough fight to pick. I really do. So it's a tough one. All right. So I'll have a think about it and come back about it. I think he's talking about Manny Pacquiao and Crawford for a long time, Aaron. For whatever reason, that fight, that's what I was going to mention. Floyd Mayweather mentioned point. He said to Crawford to avoid Manny Pacquiao because he said to Crawford that Manny Pacquiao is a heavy puncher. Now, for Floyd Mayweather to say something like that, it tells me that Floyd may have some intel on Crawford, whether in sparring or his durability. So I want to see how he does. So for me, Crawford, I'm going to say this, Crawford, this is the fight that Crawford to me proves that he is a pound for pound fighter for me. He beats Postol, he becomes a pound for pound fighter for me. I have question marks about his durability. So because I've got those question marks about durability, I don't have question marks about Postol's durability. I'm going to go with Postol. Okay. Snoop Williams says, Mark BS says, I've got Crawford either way. Postol, I'm not that sold on yet. Okay. Snoop Williams says, Postol is going to have, Crawford's going to have to jab with Postol. If he can take the jab away, it's over. Okay. Al, that's a good point. Our Red Sox fan says, what weight do you think Postol will come in at? Well, looking at him at 5'11", it's a light welterweight fight. Like welterweight, anything you come in between super welterweight and light middle, I would not be surprised. Super middleweight, light middle. Postol will move up as soon as he loses. That's another thing. Crawford's coming up from a lightweight division. Postol's coming down from probably a light middleweight. So I don't know. It's gonna, for me, the key thing is, will Postol be able to adapt to the fluid style of Crawford? Will he be able to adapt? That's what I want to know. Okay, I want to move things on a bit, and I want to talk a bit about the world of boxing. And for me, I don't know if it's just me, but the world of MMA and UFC seems to be out advertising the world of boxing. They seem to be just a step ahead at the moment. There seems to be a lot of laziness that seems to have creeped in the world of boxing. I don't know why. It's just like, you know, the McGregor fight. The McGregor fight coming up now with Diaz. I mean, that's a fight that I'm excited to go and see. Really excited about. I'm more interested to see McGregor versus Diaz than I am Crawford versus Postol. Carl Frampton versus Santa Cruz. This is a big fight. Where's the promotion behind it? I know it's oh God, Premier. Oh God, you see that shows you. That just shows you how much I'm caring at the moment about boxing. But they're both with Al Heyman, I believe, and for me, it's a great fight to see. I think it's gonna be a great fight, but just no promotion behind it, and there's no hype behind it. So, you know, it's something that I'd like to see. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing, but just the hype behind the whole thing is, I don't know. There's no drama. There's no excitement. Two good fighters fighting. Porter versus Thurman, a great fight. That should have been pay-per-view. But is it pay-per-view? No. What's pay-per-view? Anthony Joshua versus some guy from America. What can I say? What can I tell you? Another thing that seems to be something I'm noticing, that fighters being celebrated not for what they've achieved, but for their personality. Not that if a guy can fight well or a guy can box well, you know, but a guy's got more personality. A guy that says the right things, a guy that says funny things, it seems to be more celebrated than a guy. It seems like we're celebrating celebrities rather than celebrating boxers, which is something that is sadly lacking. And I think quality fights need to be given. Can you talk about Amir Khan calling out McGregor? I've done an interview today with a former boxer and reality TV star, which will come out soon. Amir Khan, boxing makes fundamental mistakes. We've seen it over and over again. Took those fundamental mistakes, moved up in weight, and got brutally KO'd. All those Amir Khan fans that were jumping around saying, and you heard them, you know who they are. His speed, his speed, his speed's going to outdo Canelo. His speed. And I kept saying, all right, his speed. Canelo's going to work the body, and as soon as Khan slows down, Canelo's going to land hard. Now, Amir Khan's got a problem. His chin is not the most secure. He's got a very shaky chin. And you can take that shaky chin into the octagon. Right? And defensively, he's flawed already. And then he's going to try and take on Conor McGregor. Deluded is the word. I don't know who manages Amir Khan's career. I don't know who his advisors are, but he had no business fighting Canelo. No business whatsoever fighting Canelo. There were other fights he could have taken. Ingram, Thurman wants Pac-Man next. Well, Thurman can say what he wants. He can say one thing, whether the fight's going to happen, that is another matter altogether. I know that. For me, I think Pacquiao would have retired already. I'm concerned about whether Bob Arum has a slave contract with Manny Pacquiao. I'm concerned that Bob Arum has something over Manny, whether it's things to do with his character, maybe it's things to do in the dark about what Manny really gets up to. I've also heard stories about Manny Pacquiao borrowing money off Bob Arum to pay his gambling debts. I've heard a lot of stuff like that about Bob Arum and Manny Pacquiao. How true they are, I wish somebody could confirm that. The fact that Bob Arum has got Manny Pacquiao to come out of retirement to fight 2 more fights when you knew that Manny Pacquiao really wanted to retire, it makes you say something, doesn't it? It does make you wonder. Thurman versus Pacquiao at this point in his career, you've got to go with Thurman. I think he's fresher, younger. Pacquiao just looks tired now, to be honest. He looks tired. I mean, if Pacquiao lands on Thurman that 1-2, you'll be interesting, but I've got to go with Thurman. Speed, power, movement. Thurman. I think, and you know, Pacquiao is a small welterweight. Thurman's a big, bona fide welterweight. He could move up to light middle. So I would go with Thurman. Khan has no business being in the UFC, no business whatsoever. But good luck to him. He'll take his fans over and do the crossover. I think he's got a real issue with Mayweather, and I think it's just this thing. I'll prove to you that I'm a better. I can do as good as Mayweather. Well, that came out wrong when he backfired when he fought Canelo. Now he's going to say, "Well, I'll fight Conor McGregor before Mayweather does." Good luck, Amir Khan. That's all I can say is good luck to you, but I think you're being badly advised, mate. One fight I'm looking forward to is Kovalev against Andre Ward. I think footwork is key here. I think Kovalev is a great fighter. I think Kovalev, and I was one of the guys that, you know, heavily backed Kovalev when he came out and first started boxing. And I said, this guy is going to be a serious fighter. Now, there's a difference when, you know, you're fighting guys that stand in front of you. You know, when you fight guys that stand in front of you, lack boxing ability, over the heel, that's okay, that's fine. Or guys that don't have a stomach for the fight, and that's okay. And you can punch, that's great, and you've got fairly decent boxing ability. Okay, that's fine. But now you're fighting a guy, an Andre Ward, that can box, that can punch, that can slug, that's got good movement, has got good boxing ability, has got defensive skills, that can take your boxing foundations away from you. And it's okay to say, well, you know, Kovalev's going to knock him out. Kovalev's got to land. And as you saw from the Chilimbe fight, I don't care what anybody tells me about, well, you know, Kovalev wasn't well. Listen, Chilimbe is going to give any light heavyweight problems in the world, you know, and he's going to make any light heavyweight in the world make you look very, very ordinary. Okay, so whether Kovalev was sick or he wasn't sick is one thing. Knocking guys out that you can actually get their nail. But when you've got a guy that's moving around the ring, he's got good head movement, moves his head, rides punches. If you go back and look at the fight where Ward was meant to fight Sullivan Barrera, People thought that Sullivan Barrera could have beaten Ward because they thought, well, Ward was moving up and Sullivan Barrera, big guy, strong, fought well against Morant. You know, this is a tough fight for Andre Ward. Andre Ward took away Barrera's best attributes and made him look extremely ordinary. Kovalev Ward got more interesting after the Chilembe fight. No, it didn't get very more interesting. It just confirmed what I said about Andre Ward. Let's be honest. Ward has fought Toronto Kansas City's come back. He's fought nobody decent in years. Are you disagreeing? Okay. Let me. It's another thing that really annoys me. Lomachenko gets a lot of credit. A lot of credit Lomachenko's got for fighting decent guys. Andre Ward fought the best that was available in the super middleweight division at the Super Six, and he beat everybody. He beat everybody. Okay, end the conversation. Right? He beat everybody. End the conversation. He beat a peak Carl Froch, not a shot Carl Froch, a peak Carl Froch. Okay, he beat Mikkel Kessler, who was meant to beat Andre Ward. The other thing is, Andre Ward's a light heavyweight that's moved down to super middleweight. Don't get it twisted. Andre Ward's a light heavyweight that moved down to super middleweight, not like super middleweight moving up to light heavyweight. Get it right. Andre Ward was a light heavyweight that moved down. So this idea that Andre Ward is, oh, he's too small, he's moving up. Andre Ward's a light heavyweight. Another thing is, talking about, well, Andre Ward's fought bum since he's come back. I don't think Barrera was a bum. He was he not the number one contender? And was a guy that a lot of people wanted to see. Barrera, they wanted Barrera to fight Kovalev, if I'm correct. So I disagree with people that say Andre Ward's fought bums. Andre Ward is coming back. He's fought the best and the best. You keep saying, well, it was a long time ago. How old is Andre Ward? You talk about Andre Ward like he's a 40-year-old. Andre Ward's a young man, okay? And now he's working his way towards the Kovalev fight. What more do you want? He fought the number one contender, which was Barrera. Okay, he fought Paul Smith. He's getting one more fight against Brand, and then he's going to fight Kovalev. What more do you want? He beats Kovalev. He's probably universally recognized as the number one light heavyweight in the world. He was universally recognized as the number one pound for pound or number one super middleweight in the world. And he hasn't been beaten. So how he's not in the pound for pound top three is beyond me. I don't know. Oh, well, he's not been active recently. But on skill base alone, the guy's got to be in the pound for pound rankings. Okay? But when he beats Kovalev, what are you going to say then? What, are you going to say that Kovalev has only fought bums because Ward beat him? No. I'll tell you, Kovalev's a damn good fighter. He's a damn good fighter. Okay? And I would have rather, if I'm honest with you, I'd rather see Kovalev fought Stevenson than Kovalev fought Ward. Because this could be a damn boring fight. Because Ward could take away Kovalev's boxing ability very quickly. Kovalev's not a scientific boxer. He's a puncher. He's a puncher first. He can box a bit, but he's not a scientific boxer. Paul Smith, stop it, LOL. Okay, was that not his comeback fight after how many years? After how many years? That was Ward's first fight. He fought. You keep missing, Marky B. You keep missing about the Barrera fight. Barrera was the number one contender. Gunnar, how we doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Keep the videos coming. Thank you very much. What the hell is Arsene Wenger doing with the transfer market? Guy hasn't a clue. I buy better players on Football Manager. Anyway, moving on. So, Snoopy Williams says, I can see Ward staying close to Sergey to smother his work. Ward is the best fighter. It's the best fighter out there. Another thing about Sergey Kovalev. Let me break this down to you another way. A lot of the Eastern European fighters, Kovalev, Golovkin. There's two fighters there already. Klitschko, three fighters there that love to fight on the outside and use their jab. But three fighters, I can tell you now, if you get on their chest, They haven't got a clue how to fight. And you can tell by the way they fight. These guys, Kovalev, Golovkin, and Klitschko, when you get past their jab and you get on the inside, they don't know how to fight. And I tell you now, right? If Kovalev allows Andre Ward to get on the inside of him, let me see something now. It is Christmas coming early. It's Christmas coming early for Andre Ward. And Ward knows this. If he gets inside of the jab and keeps Kovalev on the ropes, Kovalev loses the fight. And I'll tell you why. Kovalev cannot fight off his back against the ropes and Ward being on his chest. He cannot fight like that. Nor can Gennady Golovkin. Get it straight. These guys are great on the front foot. These guys are great when they've got the jab and they've got distance and timing, and they clinch when they're up close. But these guys cannot fight, and their styles are not conducive to guys that can get inside and roughhouse them. They're not good with that. They don't know what to do with their backs up against the ropes. So if you see Ward get on the inside and start taking it to Kovalev, then you'll see a different fight. Because then Kovalev will start to panic because he won't know what to do. These guys like to control distance. They're comfortable like that. You've seen Ward control distance. You see him on the inside, you see him on the outside. Look at Carl Froch. Carl Froch, good example. Carl Froch is a guy that likes to keep distance, like to, ping you with big shots from all sort of unorthodox angles. He likes that. What did Ward do? Ward got on the inside of Froch, got on his chest, and bullied Carl Froch. Backed Froch up against the rope. He was stronger than Carl Froch. He bullied Carl Froch. Bullied him. Pushed him off. Backed him off. Treated him like a boy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Andre Ward is no bum. Andre Ward's no, a lot of guys think, oh, well, he's just a middleweight. Understand this. Boxing science, we're talking here. And footwork. Make a man miss, make him pay. Kovalev, when you think about Kovalev Ward, you don't think to yourself, yeah, I can see Kovalev outboxing Andre Ward. You don't say that. You think to yourself, yeah, if Kovalev's going to win this fight, he's going to have to win this fight by knockout. When I look at Ward, there are different ways. Can he win this fight by knockout? Sure he can win this fight by knockout. Can he win this fight by outboxing him? Yes. Can he win it by outbrawling him? He probably could if he gets on his chest. So there are different options Andre Ward's got to fight Kovalev. Make him miss, make him pay. Sit in the pocket with Kovalev. Let Kovalev throw his shots and then counter him. And once he starts countering him and making Kovalev feel uncomfortable throwing punches, that's where Ward wins the fight. So understand that. Ward has fought so many different styles of fighters. So many different styles. So this is something that this fight, I think, is a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm telling you, Ward can shut this fight down real quick. If he uses footwork, his jab gets on the inside. Kovalev's best chance is to keep Ward on the outside and then see if he can control the fight. So those are my thoughts for that. What else comes to mind? Amir Khan, the UFC, MMA, joke. McGregor got his ass kicked by Diaz, and he talked about he runs boxing. Well, he don't even run his own sport, so he needs to deal with the business with Diaz. And even if he beats Diaz, there should be a third fight to sort it out. So that's what I've got to say about that. What else comes to mind as well in boxing? Talked about Frampton Cruz. By the way, I'm going with Santa Cruz on this fight. Frampton's done nothing at featherweight, and I want to see how he does against a guy that's tall, long range, got long arms, and has got a high work rate. We saw Frampton against a guy that was tall, long range, long arms, and not a great boxer. And I think Santa Cruz is going to give him a very hard night's work. Marky Beer says McGregor couldn't run a path. You're a funny man, Marky Beer. Very funny man. Dave Allen, a week from now, challenges or fights Dillian White. An interesting fight. Dillian White, it's an interesting fight. Could possibly get beat in this fight against Dave Allen. Could possibly get beat. And if Dave Allen was to beat Dillian White in his 10th or 11th fight, it'd be very impressive. Like I said before, I think Dave Allen's had a lot of flack for fighting Jason Gavin in his 9th fight. And with a week's notice or less than a week's notice, and he was meant to fight 6'7" or 6'6" Richard Towers. So got a lot of flack for that, and I think unnecessarily. Good fight against Dillian White. Yes, Kell Brook to fight Gennady Golovkin. Okay, all right. Let me break this down to you people. Kell Brook isn't fast of hand and isn't fast of foot. How dare people say, well, Sugar Ray Leonard moved up and he fought Marvin Hagler. Sugar Ray Leonard had a blurring hand speed, great footwork, fantastic boxing technician, and he knew he was the best or potentially the best welterweight, right? Beating Thomas Hearns, you know, a guy who could punch from welterweight right up to light heavyweight or cruiserweight. Okay, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, right? How dare people start saying, you know, well, Brook's going to move up and Sugar Ray Leonard moved up against Thomas. He moved up against Marvin Hagler. Whoa, hold a second. Whoa, hold on a second. Let me get something correct here. Is Brook even the best welterweight in the world? Yeah, well, he is the best welterweight in the world because he beat Porter. So he beat one fighter. That determines you to be the best welterweight in the world. Whoa, hold on a second. Brook's a good fighter. I'm not disputing that. Brook is not I don't think Brook's a world-class puncher. I think he's a good, heavy-handed type of guy. I think he's a good counter-puncher at his level. But, I mean, he's not even been tested. I mean, totally different styles between Leonard and Brook. Brook is much more flat-footed. Brook relies on his strength and his physical presence to bully guys. Now, you take that away because Brook, Brook he's a big welterweight. Okay, but is he a big middleweight? No, he's not a big middleweight. Thurman beat Porter. Does that make Keith the best? He's up there after that. Did he even beat Porter though? My point there, I've said this, and people argue with me this. I thought Porter beat him personally because he was doing a lot of holding in the fight. But you know, people think Brook beat Porter. I can see that. Okay, I understand. Let me tell you something. So Brook beats Yo-Yo Dan, and he beats Frankie Gavin, and he beats his other guy, whoever he is, beats him up. And then the Vargas fight doesn't come out. He was going to fight Timothy Bradley. That didn't happen. The Khan fight didn't happen. And suddenly he jumps from that to fighting Gennady Golovkin. So Brook moves up to middleweight. First of all, he's not a proven middleweight. 1, 2. What's he going to look like as a middleweight? He's going to be slower because he's not going to be faster. And he's easy. Brook is easy to hit, right? Brook's another guy that doesn't know how to fight with his back against the ropes. Okay? Brook doesn't know what defense is. I keep saying it. Telling you, if Carson Jones is taking you life and death in the first fight, and then you saw him fight Carson Jones in the second fight, even at light heavyweight, and Carson Jones wasn't even properly prepared for that fight. And he was even fighting Carson Jones then, and Carson Jones was attacking him then. If Shevchenko down at welterweight is rocking you, if you're getting dropped at welterweight, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, see through the BS. Oh, I'm just as big as Gennady. I'm just as big as Gennady. Hold on. Are you trying to tell me you're going to be a bigger puncher than Curtis Stevens? Are you trying to tell me that you're a bigger puncher than David Lemieux? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Forget even Brook versus Gennady Golovkin for a second. I said before. What about Kell Brook versus Billy Joe Saunders? Kell Brook versus Chris Eubank Jr. Can Kell Brook beat Chris Eubank Jr.? Can Kell Brook beat Billy Joe Saunders? Can Kell Brook beat Curtis Stevens? Can Kell Brook beat David Lemieux? These are questions you need to ask yourself. But oh no, he you know, forget about those guys. Forget about those guys. Kell Brook could beat Gennady Golovkin. These are the same people that brought you Amir Khan has got hand speed that's going to outbox Canelo. I said to everybody, Canelo will take his time, and as soon as Canelo is ready, he'll land, and Khan will be right there, take him out. Can Brook beat Danny Garcia? Can Brook beat Keith Thurman? Can Brook beat Andrade? Can he beat Lara? Can he Brook beat Trout? Can he beat Spence? Can he beat let me think. Can he beat Canelo? The light middleweight division. Can he beat Liam Smith? Can he beat any of the other welterweight champions? I'm just saying. Truth is this. Brook is unknown at middleweight. He didn't look great at light middleweight, and I don't think he could be a light middleweight champion. If maybe he could beat Liam Smith, possibly, maybe. But a middleweight? Are you trying to take me for a fool or what? Oh, he could have moved up to middleweight. Well, why didn't he move up to middleweight? Why didn't he just, okay, you know what? I'm not getting fights in this division. Let me move up to light middleweight. Let me take the Liam Smith fight. Let me fight another fight at light middleweight. So, your first fight in middleweight is Gennady Golovkin. Great. Great. Fantastic. That's real great strategy there. LLO true. What do you think if there was no GGG? Let me tell you something, my friend Al, Red Sox. On September the 10th, barring injury to Kell Brook, Gennady Golovkin's going to be in the other corner, and Kell Brook is going to have to face him. He says, I remember Khan saying he drops guys at light middleweight and at middleweight. Remember him saying that crap before. But who are you beating up in sparring? Who are you beating up in sparring? You're beating the middleweight. Gennady Golovkin's not just a puncher. Remember what Gennady Golovkin was doing against guys like Bute and Durrell for the Olympics. These are big guys. And Bute and Gennady Golovkin was handing them their ass. Okay? This is a guy that had a fantastic Olympic record. Kell Brook's Olympic amateur record. Listen. Okay. We have to talk about the retirement of This Is Reckless Boxing, Jim Watt. It's sad to hear that Jim's retired, but I'm glad to hear Jim was retired. He just kept saying the same thing week in, week out. Jim Watt, for me, his heyday was when he was with I can't remember. Who's the guy who used to be next to him? Jim Watt, was it? It wasn't Harry Carpenter. I loved Jim Watt when he was with Ian Dark. That was cool. Loved talking. Loved those days. Big Fight Live. That was Jim for me. That was Jim Watt's prime. Big Fight Live with Jim Rosenthal. That was it. The Nigel Benn fights, the Chris Eubank fights, the Robin Reed fights. That was Jim Watt at his prime. Jim Watt, of recent years, just seen the same. He just turns up and says the same things, everything. Punches and bunches, arm punches. He says the same thing. It's like you just sit Jim Watt and you just get a wind up like a toy. You just wind it up and you just put it down and you just play the tape. and you could listen to Jim Watt, and you could just put his commentary in one fight, and he can just overlap it for all the fights, and Jim Watt will say the same thing in every fight: punches and bunches, bang on the chin, reckless boxing, no snapping his punches, his defenses left him. All these things of Jim Watt. So, health and happiness, love and light to you, Marky, to our Red Sox fans. So, tribute to Jim Watt. I love the guy. Right time for him to retire. So, shout out to Jim Watt. Gonna miss you, Jim. Big Papa Pump says, "What up, everyone in here? Got 50 on Postol tonight. I'm with you on that one." Oh, bang on! This is reckless boxing. This is reckless boxing. Jim Watt. Rest in armchair, Mr. Watt. Another thing, got some great news for those people. Jim Watt won't be missed. No, he will be missed, because I remember the days. No, Jim Watt's the kind of guy that, Jim Watt's the kind of guy that if the guy you made a bet on is losing a fight, he's the worst guy to be listening to, because he'll tell you your fighter's legs have gone. He'll tell you he bang on the chin. So, oh, good shot. Oh, good shot is actually Jim Raw is the other guy. What's his name? Nick Paulie. Yes. Fancy Dan. Adam Smith is Jim's replacement. Great. No. Oh no. A mouth-watering clash. This is mouth-watering. That's mouth-watering. What, ain't nobody give you a glass of water recently? Everything's mouth-watering. Anthony Joshua versus the bomb down the road. Mouth-watering clash. Kell Brook's latest fight against Jojo Dan. Mouth-watering. Matthew Macklin's attempt for another world title fight. Mouth-watering. Everything's mouth-watering to this man. This man needs a slap in his face. Adam Smith. Can't stand listening to him. If I had £1 for every time Adam Smith said mouth-watering, I would be making a lot of money. In fact, what I'm going to do is start that mouth-watering, probably watch out, because Adam Smith, although Harold Lederman, best voice in boxing. Lederman's good. I like to listen to Max Kellerman. I like to listen to Roy Jones. I like to listen to Andre Ward. I love to listen to Bernard Hopkins. I really like to listen to guys who've boxed before. I think they're great to listen to. Guys who've boxed and Paul Smith as new lead commentator. Absolutely not. I'd like to see Spencer Ferron as the new lead for Sky. They won't have him. He's too controversial and he's too off the cuff, and he'll probably bring Sky down. Carl Froch will probably be a commentator. I can see that happening. While we're on the subject of Sky, let's talk one more thing about Sky and Glenn McCrory. Shout out to Glenn McCrory, big Glenn, gentleman Glenn. Glenn McCrory, former cruiserweight world champion, IBF. Glenn is going to be doing his book signing in Ireland. He's going to be in Galway and Cork and Dublin. I'm looking forward to see Glenn McCrory when he does his book signing when he comes to Ireland, which is where I am at the moment. So I'm looking forward to that. Matthew Macklin replacement, as long as it's not Spencer Ferron. But Spencer Ferron's a former boxer as well. He'll tell you as it is. Macklin is going to tell you what Sky want you to say here. I'd like someone like Peter Fury as a commentator, because Peter Fury tell you as it is. Peter Fury tell you as it is. Macklin's so boring, so is Paul Smith. Wrong voice of the commentary. Not knocking, they acknowledge. But Tyson Fury would like to hear as a commentator as well, because he'll tell you like it is as well. He'll tell you like it is. Billy Joe Saunders, I like him. I like how Billy Joe Saunders comes about. I know he does get a bit biased when he talk about Eubank, but I like to hear him talk. He makes me laugh. I like Billy Joe Saunders, but they won't have him on either. So characters you need. Paulie Malignaggi. That would be perfect. Glenn, Sky is the number one. No hype around Box Nation. Yeah, I like Box Nation. Barry Jones, my good friend, old sparring partner, and old gym mate. A lot of time for Barry Jones. He's talked such sense. Dave Allen would be good. I'm sure Dave Allen would love to talk on Sky. He better watch himself, because he talks a lot of stuff as well. Too many yes men in Sky. Nelson especially. It's cringeworthy watching Nelson and Adam Smith. Adam Smith will just look at Johnny and say, "You say anything, boy? You say anything, boy, that I don't like? Anything that's not mouth-watering, and you're going to get a sack." That look that Adam Smith gives Johnny Nelson, and Johnny Nelson's like, "Yes, okay, I'll say what has to be said." And then you look at Johnny Nelson when he's away from Adam Smith, and he's just a cool dude, relax. Love to hear him talk. So, Billy Joe Saunders is illiterate. Billy Joe Saunders is funny. You need a guy who can crack a joke and it's funny. Legend reports suggest Ingram Jones is a Betty Ferry to replace you. What? They'd never have me at Sky. Absolutely never. Although, having said that, I might think of doing some commentary for a few fights. It'd be quite fun. Right. Enough for the silly stuff. I'm going to come to the end of this now because I have a certain heavyweight I need to be talking to. So, enjoy the fight tonight. I might do a post-fight of Crawford with Postol. I probably will do, and I'll be in. Richie Woodhall. No, absolutely not. You know Richie Woodhall is good for? No disrespect to Richie Woodhall. Richie Woodhall needs to have a job on. You know what Richie Woodhall's voice is for? Eurosport. Do you know who would be really good for Sky? Steve Holdsworth, the guy who used to do, or bring back Ian Dark. He's the best man for commentary. Bring back Ian Dark. I like Richie Woodhall, but Richie Woodhall belongs in Eurosport. He's a Eurosport, and I think that Steve Holdsworth and Ian Dark would be two great commentators. That's my thoughts on that. Steve Holdsworth is the guy that does Eurosport. He's good because he cracks your joke here and then, can be quite sarcastic, dry sense of humor, like him. And I like Ian Dark because he paints a picture before a fight and really, really gets you. So I think those two would be great, two great heavyweight commentators from the UK. So, right. So, I better be going. I'll see you all later on. Hopefully, you'll be back for the Crawford Postol post-fight show. It's going to be a good fight. Be interesting. Yeah, so don't forget, in the right-hand corner at the bottom, there's a yellow button, subscribe button. Hit that button. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. This has been Bayloric TV Boxing Channel. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments, and please share the video across social media. I'll do a post-fight show then. Share the video across social media. Share it across your Facebook, your Twitter page, and tell more people about the channel. I'm out of here. Take care.